guys. We did it. This is a sketchbook tour to celebrate 25,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and it came way sooner than I thought, and it's wholly thanks to you guys, so thank you so much. This video is for you. Hopefully it's interesting, because you'll find that a lot of my sketches are just exercises, but I thought it would be cool to show you the sketchbooks I'm working on right now. So you'll be seeing Sketchbook 16, Sketchbook 20, and Sketchbook 21, my most recent impulse buy. I convince myself in every sketchbook, I say, I need to buy this one because that will be the place where I draw specifically this. So each sketchbook has a specific purpose that you will see I have completely derailed away from. So let's get into it. This is Sketchbook 16. This started 6 months ago, long time ago. So June 30th is the first day, and maybe there is a, yes, Sketchbook 16. The goal was to be bold. So it started out with, I drew something. I don't even know what this could be called, but this head was actually inspired by this Buddha head that my brother bought me. Pretty cool to see, but yeah, we'll keep that there for the rest of the video, I guess. But yeah, started out with me really trying to be bold. I was trying to push myself every drawing, and I like this actually. At the time, my understanding of form was much worse. Like, these took me a long time to comprehend, and this one I like as well. You'll see that I start to stray away from these pieces very quickly. I don't know. I can't stay consistent with any one goal for too long, but we have a bunch of men connected into one man, some anatomy stuff. It's July 1st, and the day I made a goal to draw something interesting every day, and 4 days in, it already ended. Here I'm studying some moss, drawing some animal characters. I did a study, I think, of a truck I was looking at, studying the leaves. At the time, I was at a cabin with my family, visiting some family friends, and, you know, I don't go outside too much, so seeing nature was probably a good thing. More capturing what I see. I don't think I really understood what I was drawing here, so I did a couple retries of that. Now, this was before. Recently my drawings have shifted a lot more like structural and educational, largely because now I'm making videos about it, that I never want to make videos that I don't feel like I've researched into. So yeah, you see doing some ellipses here, and I mean, this was wow, it was 8 months ago. It doesn't feel like that, but yeah, I mean, a lot of progress has been made in the last 8 months. It's interesting to look back on how much I've learned in that time. This is when I was doing Peter Hahn's organic volumes, right? So this is Peter Hahn's organic volumes exercise, that if you've seen my video on the 25 drawing exercises, then you might have tried this for yourself. Doing some faces here, trying to have some fun with basic shapes. I really like these two. I like these. I love the highlights here, but I think the form here is nice. Walmart Groot. Goblin Man. I was wondering if this horse isn't from reference. I think this is from imagination, but these dogs are from reference because the people I was staying with had a golden retriever. Really cute dog. So I'm already seeing how 8 months ago I wasn't drawing in that much detail. I wasn't drawing with that much structure in mind. And you sort of allow yourself to not understand the form if you're not drawing very structurally. And you'll see that'll be a change coming up relatively soon. I think in this book is when I start realizing the importance of thinking in form first, right? Shading the underside, being aware of how this shape is actually a three-dimensional form. I drew this on the train. I remember feeling really paranoid because I didn't pay for my ticket, and I was like, oh god, they're gonna get me. And I think that's why I drew an officer. I went to the Toronto Zoo. That's where I was taking the train to. Took the train to the Toronto Zoo. I drew some lemurs, and they are some goofy looking creatures, but it was a lot of fun. It was difficult to find their form, really. So these are drawings from the Toronto Zoo. I forgot I came here trying to study their forms. They fold in half sleeping, which is kind of crazy, but to each their own, I guess. I liked this at the time. I was really proud of the textures there. Now I'm seeing that I couldn't really draw in that much detail at the time. This is my favorite fish in the world. The giant gourami.
Gourami.
They are some... Yeah, so I did a 10-minute drawing of this. Yeah, I mean, I can't complain here. You know what? I'm going to try not to keep judging the artwork because I think it's so easy to get caught in this loop of constantly trying to judge your work. And I don't think it's the most helpful, right? Because I can't change how I drew these, nor do I want to, but I'm focusing on all the things I did wrong instead of all the things that maybe I like and maybe I want to adopt. Like, I like the shape language here. I like that I was studying how to stylize characters, right? Maybe my form knowledge wasn't as strong or my shape design wasn't as solid, but you know, that's anytime you look back, it's a good thing. That is wild. I don't know why. Listen, that's going to be blurred out so I don't get demonetized. And sometimes you just draw some things, man. You draw some things that you didn't know you were going to draw because, and you know what? The line took me there. I didn't want to go there. At this point in life, I am at a summer camp and I'm spending a lot of time playing with kids, and these kids loved soccer. Friendships would be ruined over soccer games, man. So I wanted to draw, you know, a kid that represented that. But here we have a Jay Kwong study. I love these are all his drawings, and I love this tiger. I've always struggled with drawing tigers, and Kim Jung-gi and Jay Kwong and Dong Ho Kim have such a nice stylization to it. Here I tried to draw a military tank, I think, or some vehicle, and I really realized like I had no idea how to do it. I was very bad, and the most you really find out how well you can draw when a kid tells you to draw something, because they are the harshest audiences, man. They are ruthless. Kids will ask you to draw the craziest things, like horses riding cats on unicycles, and you're not going to get it right, and they'll be like, that's not what it looks like. Like, you don't know what it looks like either. At least I can draw it. Sorry, I have some personal vendettas to settle. Some goats. I'm starting to like how much form I have here. That's nice. I like the overlap. I spent a lot of time looking at these goats that summer. A lot of weeks looking at goats, so it's starting to show. These are from Kim Jung-gi's. Actually, let me show you. I think these were from Kim Jung-gi's card set that I got. My girlfriend bought these for me for my birthday, and it's pretty epic because, you know, when you want to look at Kim Jung-gi's artwork, but you don't want to carry the giant book with you, he's got a card set that I think it was like a collector's item, but I reference these from time to time to study from, like, yeah, so he's got tigers, a lot of cool stuff. So aside from just being a cool memorabilia, I study from these from time to time, and I believe that these poses were from this collection. This was when I started going to the ROM, and there's this base that a man's built in the park, and I wanted to capture that because I thought it was cool. And this is a view of some statue and maybe some building in the back. Bicycle, some people at the ROM, more people. This is on the train back home. Go train, yep. Oh, this is to the Ottawa Animation Festival. So I'm about to travel back to Ottawa to go to the Animation Festival. Trying to understand observational drawing here. So yeah, this is actually two different drawings, but they coincided pretty well because I was drawing looking to my left. This is my girlfriend. I was looking to my left, drawing my girlfriend, and then looking straight ahead, drawing what I saw. And because it's the same perspective and it's the same horizon level, it almost overlaps. It doesn't exactly, but this is it sort of looks like it overlaps here. So I like this. I thought I like the depth of the car I got. I like the horizon line. This is more Auto Animation Festival. This is from my imagination. I'm proud of this little tiger here. Some cringy musings. Here I'm trying to understand how to draw cars. And whenever you're trying to break something down, I highly recommend understanding it in profile view first. Trying to see what it's like from a flat view so that when you put it in perspective, you know how much you should foreshorten each section. So just some car drawings. This is from my imagination, inspired somewhat by Akira Toriyama's stylization of cars. Although maybe it wasn't from my imagination because I see this. But no, I don't think it was from my imagination. But I do love Akira Toriyama's shape language. Some basic form manipulations. I think this is inspired by Katsuya Terada. He has such an appealing shape language with his animals and the way he stylizes dragons and muzzles especially. So I'm trying to understand the curvature of his forms, and it's so much based on understanding form intersections and stuff. This is an idea I've been trying to understand for months, and I've reshot this video 3 times. It's about perspective concepts that help someone understand perspective intuitively and not have to measure stuff out. Right, and some other stuff, but something I'll eventually make a video of, but I've been struggling. This is when I went to the ROM and a student of mine, you know who you are, drew in the sketchbook, and I'm so glad I get to keep this because they've improved a lot, and it's cool to see. It's cool to see. They weren't a student of mine at the time, but now they're in my mentorship program. This is when I was in the midst of making a course, but I've as of yet not finished it because I want to obviously build my skills a little bit more before I start selling whole courses and stuff. But at the time, this was a milestone piece for me where something clicked. I was like, oh, I understand form now. I understand form better. I can see now how I'm still missing some detail and some proportional stuff, but I'm still overall really proud of this drawing. It was also in a previous drawing. It was in a previous video. So yeah, this was at the Desserts in Toronto. And so it's about October now. So this was June through October. And this wasn't at the time. So this is sketchbook 16. I filled up sketchbook 17, 18, and 19 in between this sketchbook and the next one you're going to see. But so this is actually the sketchbook I use when I'm traveling and I don't have room to take the big sketchbook with me. But some pigs with a brush pen that I've since tragically lost. I sketched this guy on the bus, and once again I was like, oh my god, I can draw. Bro can draw. Because I was really impressed by it. I was able to see forms and able to measure his proportions out, and I was really proud of that. So really liked that one. I also drew this on the bus, and I really enjoy it. It's a story came out of it. 'Cause I started with the tiger, and I find the most unique drawings from imagination come from starting unconventionally. So start in a way that you've never started, and you'll probably end up with a drawing you never expected. Right? So, yeah, this is a tiger teacher that gets his class interrupted by a overly mischievous puppy who didn't mean to bite the pig. I love these animal characters. It would be my dream to be able to draw anthropomorphized characters in real life situations. I don't know why. Maybe it's growing up with Disney movies, or I love Zootopia as a kid. I love Black Sad. And I love like Kim Jong-il's drawings. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's not a surprise that everyone loves to draw animals. I got a bunch of animals right here. I study these from time to time to build that shape language, but there's nothing cooler to me than some classic 90s milk call Disney style animals. Beautiful art. Here's actually some work for the animation program. This was an assignment to do a character jumping. I actually failed this assignment because I didn't realize you weren't supposed to animate a four-legged creature. So that didn't work out well for me, but this was my work in progress, and you can see the animation process. I really enjoy the drawing process of animation. I like the drawing part, but it does get tedious. So some more form stuff here, some coarse stuff here. And here again, I'm drawing. I really like this piece. I drew it on the train. I think at this time I'd finished my summer camp job, and I think I was missing spending time with kids. And this sort of just came out of my subconscious, I guess. It reminds me of spending time with a family. So I love how it turned out, because there's a real sense of depth and the proportions of objects. That's what really sells a scene, the proportion of objects. And I feel like I got that here, so I'm proud of that. We draw a lot of pigs here for some reason, and on this day it was no exception. So a man playing video games on top of a pig. Here I'm doing some form, some anatomy. I think there was going to be a muscle test at school, so I had to study up on the back. So I'm trying to do a bunch here, trying to draw it out, just figure out the forms, starting with some basic under construction and trying to draw over. I don't really understand what I'm drawing at the time. Here, now this was a day. I stayed up all night in the hospital, in the waiting room, from like 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. I think, 9 hours. We never saw the doctor. We went home. But I got bored and I started drawing the hospital. Yeah, some observational. I think I was at a party here. This is what happens when I go to a party. Some observational on the train. I like the form I got. This guy kind of looks like Robert De Niro. He was not Robert De Niro. More goats. More goats. The laboratories at school. The cube grid. The infamous cube grid. Some rock band that I came up with. Monkeys and pigs, man. They're the go-tos. Now this was from imagination, just thinking about form and perspective. Two men standing with their hands up. This was at the ROM again. I saw these little sculptures of people from overhead, and I usually don't see things from that view, so I thought it would be cool to study. Some heads from the Roman section. Yeah, so this was more of that overhead. It was like a diorama. I don't know what they're called, but saw that. Some ideas for drawing from imagination. I practiced the texture of some mummy linens, drawing some stuff at the ROM. Trying to figure out space here. It's different images, sort of. I drew this, and then I drew this on top of that, and I drew this after that. Just not really being too precious with my book. I think that's overall something that's been helping me a lot with just learning fast, is not being precious with it, just trying to make mistakes. Not trying to make mistakes, but not worrying if I do make mistakes. Prioritizing curiosity over outcome. So I don't care if this sketchbook isn't really appealing to look at. It's just work, right? Studying pipes, looking at the bus drivers, seeing what the, while I had time, seeing what the bus looked like, drawing the train, more about perspective, more about perspective, more about perspective. Now this was getting really I don't know. This is how I envision perspective. The 5 vanishing points in 5-point perspective represent looking up, to the left, to the right, in front of you, and down, right? Those are all the extremities of which vision can go to. But this is a dog.
Bruh.
Here's some texture exercises that I mentioned in the 25 drawing exercises, which I am making a textbook for. So keep an eye out for that, because I'll be making a page for every exercise, and I'm talking about how to do it, how to get better at it, everything I know about those exercises. So more observational stuff, more drawing from imagination, just a lot of form at the end of the day. More form stuff. This is a traumatic image for me. This is what happens when a kid tells you to draw a cat wearing a scarf, riding a unicorn, riding a bicycle, and you're like, what? And then you try it, and they go, that's not what it looks like. Cut me some slack, bro. But yeah, this is my brother at Christmas. We were at a friend's house, and I totally butchered the drawing, but you know, it is how it is sometimes. The dog, the same golden retriever, trying to sort of etch out the form I see. Experimenting with Loomis heads. Here's a couple I saw on the train. They were watching reels out loud. Some of them sounded funny, most of them did not. This was me practicing. So this is exercise. This is flat textures, and this is volume mapping as shown in the videos from the 25 drawing exercises. So other ways to do that. This is me structuring the head from the head drawing video. I'm just plugging all my videos at this point. Watch this one, watch this one, watch these. Oh, come on. Some observational. I'm really proud of this one. I love the way the hair really feels like it has volume. Tigers, as I mentioned, really difficult to do. More tigers. These are from imagination. This is observational. And this is at the library. This is when I really felt like, oh, whoa, I'm understanding perspective a little bit more. These forms are all maintaining their proportion, their orientation, and this space really feels like it exists. And when I was able to do this, I was starting to see some big differences in my drawings from imagination. So that brings us to the end of this sketchbook. What I'll do is maybe only pick the highlights, and if you guys don't like that, then let me know what you want to see. If you want to see more sketchbooks, I have 21 of them, so I'm happy to show more sketchbooks, but I don't want to yap your ear off, you know. So, and most of this stuff is just the form exercises I talked about. Some is mostly exercises, like it's just exercise stuff. I'll show you the highlights. I'll find some cool pages. Here we got studying animals at the ROM. Here we have a turtle. I feel the need to show you this turtle because I cannot tell you how many boys and men feel the need to comment, "That's a big turtle," every time I'm at the museum. It is as close to a law of human behavior as I've ever come across. Boys feel the need to go, "That's a turtle," for some reason. I do it too. I go, "That's a big turtle," but I don't know why. But and half of them will go, "That's Master Uguay." Anyway, form drawing. That's a bat. Now bats, this is like, I did not exaggerate this drawing. That is what a bat's body looked like. Look at that. That is cartoony as anything. So, who knew bats should be cartoon mascots? Panda bear, I really liked. I'm zooming through this. 20,000 drawing, 20,000 subscriber drawing, which I might have to do a 25,000 subscriber drawing, because thank you again for watching, for subscribing, for letting me do this. By the way, because of the growth of this channel, there are some big changes coming soon. So stay tuned, because I'm going to be making more videos, and I'm thinking of making more videos like this. I'll still be doing as much teaching as I can, and I'm branching out. I'm teaching more on theanimationtutor.com. I'm taking mentorships, but I also want this YouTube channel to be a place where I feel like I can be myself. And the more teaching videos I make, the more I sort of feel like I'm running out of room to maneuver, because I am a student, bro. I'm 21. I barely know how to draw. So it's my number one priority is to keep learning. And if I can document my learning and help you along the way, that's amazing. But I never want to lose sight of the fact that don't listen to me as your only source of art education, because I don't know. I'm just telling you what worked for me. So that's all to say. I'm going to start showing more of my process and my life outside of curated tutorials and demonstrations. I'm going to maybe vlog a week in my life, or show you more of how just I draw without a focus on trying to tailor it to be maximum education. And some people aren't going to stick around for that, and that's okay. I'll still be making tutorials, and I'll still be making valuable content that I wish I had years ago. But with that said, I'm so glad that you're watching this, and I'm so happy that I'm able to do this, because you don't know how long I've wanted to be able to do this. I don't want to hammer it home or be so corny or anything, but thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching these videos. This is an old man who definitely killed someone, but we don't know. We don't know who it was. Vases, and vases are basically fish, because they're the same shape. So I'm sort of skimming through this, because there's some good stuff here, but this. So this was a hard drawing. This is a really hard drawing to do, because I was looking up. I was looking like straight up trying to do this. And this is a school of, what are they called? Hammerhead fish. Hammerhead sharks that I was trying to capture. But I messed it up a couple times. So I drew here. Here is what I thought the perspective actually looked more like. I was looking, it was more steep than I drew it. But so I had to try that a couple times. It was difficult. And here I'm trying to understand how everything can be traced back to its orientation on a flat piece of paper, i.e. the picture plane, or like a plane, right? And you can break every complex shape down into basic forms if you really understand them. So that's why I've really been on a basic form kick. If you know anything about this channel, you know I will not stop talking about basic forms. But here I was doing some research for the face video, if you haven't seen this, check that out. If you really want to learn how to draw the head, that is the definitive way that I've been studying it, and it's been making a big difference for me. So some of these drawings you can see form intersections and manipulations, drawings. This one I'm really proud of. I really felt like I understood how the head worked, and this is from imagination. So I feel like I'm finally, while I'm practicing Lego pieces, I feel like I'm finally able to understand how the human body works well enough to have like a sophisticated Lego piece. I feel like I've evolved from Lego pieces to like Gundams that I'm able to piece together the complex forms a little bit better. Rotating heads from the same image. Let's move on. Let's find something fun. So there's not much else here that's that much fun. It's just form stuff. I did that this morning. Yeah, some basic form stuff. But speaking of this red pen, I want to show you guys my most recent sketchbook where I feel like I'm the most proud of the drawings I've been making, because I don't know, I've just been really happy with them. So, and recently I drew like a milestone piece that I'm so excited to show. So let's start with this. This is sketchbook 21. This I bought a week ago. So this Saturday. By the time you're seeing this, it'll have been a week ago. So yeah, the 8th of February. So this is, my idea for this book was that it's gonna be a book purely for observation. That stopped the day I bought it. But my goal for this book is to have every drawing be an entire scene. So every drawing will look like a window into a world where the perspective makes sense and goes in one direction. So far I've not broken that one, although, you know, the only thing I know I do all the time is change plans. So here I was looking out the window of a place called Italy, Italy with eat instead. It was like a cafe area. Really cool. It's by Bloor and Young in Toronto. Check it out if you have the chance, because the window overlooks a street, and now you get to observe cars at an angle that you never really get to see in real life. So, pretty cool. So I was looking out and I observed this stuff. Now this is a different perspective than this, but it's sort of always, it melds in. When you're looking from the same angle, it does tend to meld together. So here is more of this drawing from observation, but then also merging it with drawing from imagination at times when I didn't really, cars are moving by all the time fast. So I put these people were not there. They left before I could capture them, but I remember what they were doing and I captured them. But pretty difficult to put people in a like, I don't know, it's drawing from imagination never gets easier. It just gets slightly better. So this was my view from inside. I moved from this window to this table. And yeah, I'm proud of this one. If you look too closely, you'll see that some things don't make sense. This guy was actually much taller. He should be about here. So I'm realizing if you really want that depth, you have to have things going above and below, not just below. So he's tiny in comparison because he really stretched up here. But, you know, you live and you learn. This I drew on the same day, just experimenting with what I was studying that day and just really focusing on trying to expand my perspective. So this is what we call, I guess, intuitive perspective, but in reality, it's always just 5-point perspective. What I've learned is everything is 5-point perspective. It's just that if you zoom in close enough, it becomes 1, 2, or 3 point. You know, this is a 5-point perspective. But if I zoomed into this table over here, I could straighten these lines out enough. It wouldn't, the change in the perspective wouldn't be strong enough in such a small frame to necessitate 5 points of thinking about 5 points. You would just simplify into straight lines. You know, this isn't making sense, or maybe it is, but it's harder to make sense when I'm just saying it off the top. If you guys want, please comment if you want a video on this topic. Like, just keep making it and going, no one's gonna watch this. It's so I don't know. I just get my head about it, but yeah, let me know if you want to see that. So coming up is my favorite drawing I think I've made so far this year, and that's not saying that much because it's been 30 days. But this one I feel like I ruined with this weird cordyceps zombie man. I don't know. I started here and I liked it, but then when you like a drawing, you ruin it because you're like, I love this drawing. I don't want to ruin it. And then it happens inevitably. So started here. I mean, the perspective's fine. I'm not done, but as I went up and up, I'm like, what have I done? I always try to make this concept of a man, or a person opening their mouth and then stuff comes out of it, but then I realize I don't know how to draw that, so then it just ruins the drawing. So, but fret not, because the next drawing, and I'm not going to lie, I don't want to brag, but I'm really proud of it. And I'm like, damn, bro can draw. So, I mean, this happened yesterday, and give it a few months, I'll look back and be like, what the hell? But yeah, this I drew last night. Yeah, I'm really proud of it. So, yeah, I think it's a number of things. It's the fact that I drew this from imagination, and it's hard poses. I would never have previously been able to draw a person like this. But also, if you guys watched my drawing from imagination for 30 days straight video, you will see that I absolutely ruined pieces after pieces by drawing with a marker. So it really means a lot that for the first time I've complemented a drawing with marker and I didn't absolutely ruin it, and it actually looks more three-dimensional. I think the part I like the most is this area with the shoulders and the hands and this hand here. It really does feel like this person is laying on the ground. So that's it, guys. Those are the 3 sketchbooks that I'm working on at the moment. Maybe seeing how this does, we'll do another sketchbook tour, or I'll just go straight back to to making videos that are purely on educational stuff. But yeah, till next time, keep drawing. See ya.